While you wake up every morning wondering if you will still have a job or how you will afford a simple loaf of bread, President Cyril Ramaphosa has decided to launch a global war of words against the United States. In a move that has left economists trembling and ordinary citizens terrified, the South African government is officially standing shoulder to shoulder with Nicolas Maduro, the captured leader of Venezuela. Think about your bank account for a second. Think about the 31.9% of our brothers and sisters who are officially unemployed, a number that climbs to a soul-crushing 58% for our youth. Now, ask yourself, why is the president of South Africa spending his energy, his time, and your tax money acting as the personal defense attorney for a man thousands of kilometers away, while our own streets are overrun with crime and our economy is gasping for air? Is Cyril Ramaphosa more loyal to the revolutionary brotherhood of the ANC than he is to the people of Soweto, Khayelitsha, or Chatsworth? Are you prepared to watch the rand collapse and the price of petrol skyrocket just so the president can feel like a global hero at the United Nations? The abduction drama. Why is Ramaphosa fuming? Earlier this week, the United States conducted a massive military operation that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife. While much of the Western world sees this as the end of a regime accused of narco-terrorism and human rights abuses, Pretoria has reacted with pure, unadulterated rage. Ramaphosa didn't just issue a polite statement, he went on the attack. Speaking at the 31st annual commemoration of Joe Slovo, he utterly rejected the U.S. actions, calling them a manifest violation of sovereignty. He has even instructed our diplomats to demand an urgent session of the UN Security Council to rescue Maduro. But where was this energy when the construction mafias were shutting down building sites in KwaZulu-Natal? Where was this rejection when millions of South Africans were plunged into darkness by years of state-led corruption? Why does sovereignty matter so much in Caracas, but the safety of your own home in Johannesburg seems to be an afterthought? The 8.5 billion rand threat. Your future on the chopping block. This isn't just about politics, it's about your pocket. The United States is one of South Africa's most vital trading partners, but that relationship is now hanging by a thread. Experts have already warned that the U.S. has slashed over 8.5 billion rand in aid to South Africa in the last year alone. But it gets worse. Much worse. Have you heard of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA? This is the deal that allows South African goods, our oranges, our wine, and the cars we build in the Eastern Cape, to be sold in America without heavy taxes. Because of Ramaphosa's constant flirting with enemies of the West, there are now powerful voices in Washington, like Senator John Kennedy, calling South Africa an enemy. If we are kicked out of AGOA, the consequences will be catastrophic. Massive job losses, over 35,000 jobs in the agricultural sector and tens of thousands more in the automotive industry could disappear overnight. Is your job one of them? A 30% punishment tax. The U.S. has already imposed a 30% tariff on certain South African imports. Do you think our factories can survive that? The death of manufacturing. Without the U.S. market, plants in Kebra and Pretoria will go quiet. Who will pay for the schools and the clinics when that tax revenue vanishes? Ask yourself, is defending a South American dictator worth the loss of 8.5 billion rand in aid? Is it worth the collapse of our car industry? If your brother or sister loses their job at a BMW or Ford plant this year, will they be able to eat sovereignty for dinner? Are we becoming a global outcast? For the first time in decades, South Africa is being treated like a pariah. We have been effectively snubbed from major global meetings, and rumors are swirling that we were replaced by Poland at the recent high-level economic summits in the U.S. While Ramaphosa celebrates the ANC's 114th anniversary in the Northwest this weekend, claiming the party is renewed, the world is looking at us with suspicion. They see a government that stays silent when Russia invades its neighbors but screams foul play the moment a socialist ally is in trouble. Why is our foreign policy so inconsistent? Why are we risking everything for a leader whose own people fled his country by the millions? Do you think the ANC leaders care about the price of the rand when they have their private security and state-funded lifestyles? Or is it only you, the ordinary citizen, who has to pay the diplomacy tax? The questions Ramaphosa doesn't want you to ask. It's time to stop being polite and start asking the hard questions. Who is the president really working for? If his decisions are leading to job losses and economic isolation, is he working for South Africans or for an ideological clique? Can our economy survive another year of anti-West rhetoric? With growth projected at a pathetic 1.3%, any small mistake could push us into a permanent depression. Is this a risk you are willing to take? What happens to the rand? We've already seen how sensitive our currency is. If the U.S. decides to sanction ANC officials or cut off more trade, the rand could hit 25 to the dollar. How much will your bread cost then? Where is the national dialogue? Ramaphosa promises to talk to the people, but is he listening to the mothers who can't afford milk, or is he only listening to the revolutionary slogans of his party? Is South Africa still non-aligned? We claim to be neutral, but we seem to only stand up for countries that oppose the West. Is this neutrality, or is it a slow-motion suicide for our trade relations?